What's up, fam? Let me just get a little more appropriate. What's happening, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. So I had to get properly dressed in a brand new t-shirt that I got from my newest sponsor. You guys should know who they are. They're pretty well known around the dashcam circuit, and they're called Blackvue. Guys, these guys deal with high-end type cameras. Really awesome stuff with a lot of nice tech in it. And I'm pleased to show you this today. Now, just don't forget, these guys are at SEMA, where they introduce some of their newest products. I just want to show you guys real quick. And this setup that I have right here, and by the way, before I forget, Jeremy, thank you so much for sending me this stuff. Guys, you're looking at a lot of this setup right here alone. You're looking at some serious dollars, and these guys actually, they saw my videos, they liked my content, and they trusted the fact that I'm gonna do a nice breakdown for them and a nice install. Now, I was actually looking in the market, looking for a front and rear type dash cam as well. So right now in my Subaru, this car is like my pride and joy right here. This car makes 840 at the wheels. I have one dash cam to the front and two in the back. And one is facing the inside of the car, one is facing the back, and obviously the front is, this one is facing the front. And every vehicle I have, we have dash cams in it, from my truck, my wife's minivan, my daughter's car all the way to the front. Every single car we run dash cams, because guess what? You never know what can happen, ever, okay? These days, everybody's looking to file a lawsuit, so you know how it is. So once again, Jeremy, thank you so much for sending me this stuff. So let me just break this stuff down for you. There's a lot of parts that came with this. And again, I'm pleased to announce they sent me one of their newest products. This is a Dr970X. It's a 2-channel LTE plus camera. Yes, this thing is freaking awesome. And I'll tell you why. So not only that, you can run this as a regular dash cam, you can also connect to this thing without Wi-Fi on LTE, because this thing has a slot for a SIM card. And I just so happen to have a free line on my mobile plan, and I had a SIM card in my wallet for about, literally, I would say, shoot, almost 2 years now. No, not 2 years, about a year and a half. Had the SIM card in there. The guy was like, you have this free SIM card, it's a free line, you can use it, you don't have to use it, it doesn't matter. Because at the time, whatever plan I had, I have T-Mobile. So whatever plan I had, I end up lucking out and getting this. And I'll show you how it works. So this is a setup right here. This is the Dr970X-2Ch Lte Plus. You have the big front, very robust. You have the rear, and we have a lot of wires. And I'll break that down in a sec. You have this one right here. If you notice, I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up. There's an F over here and there's an R. So this connects to the front. This connects to the rear cam. That is for the connection right here. Okay, that's to sync them up. And this right here, this is a hardwire connection. So you have ground and two types of power. One power, it's going to connect to a switch connection, which is where it's a wire or a fuse, where when you start the car, that's when the wire actually has power. Okay, the other wire, that wire is for a permanent connection. So when the car is off or on, that wire or fuse has power going to it. And that is if you want to put the camera in parking mode. Okay, so like when you shut the car off, guess what? You have parking mode. That's one right here. Then you have the easier one right here, where you plug this into the cigarette lighter, you plug this into the camera. When you turn the ignition on, camera power is on. When you turn the ignition off, camera power is off. Then I actually got this bad boy right here. This is an anomaly. This is an OBD2 connection. Okay, this is an OBD2 hardwire, and this is actually pretty cool, and I'll show you why. This, obviously, you connect this to your OBD2 port. This connects to the camera. I tried it in my daughter's car, and this has this is pretty much a permanent connection. Once you plug this in, the camera's gonna have power all the time. The cool thing is, when you go into the settings of the camera, I'll put something up to the side. In the Blackvue app, when you go into the settings of the camera, you can actually manipulate the voltage. Manipulating the voltage, I mean, so let's say the regular charge on the battery is 12.6 volts, okay? You can manipulate it where if the voltage drops down to 12, okay? So let's say the camera's, you know, it's pulling amps, okay? It's drawing power. So what happens is when that voltage drops to 12 volts, guess what? The camera's gonna power down. So let's say the car is, you have your car in like a shopping center, you have your car at the gym, or you left it somewhere for the day, and parking mode is on. The moment that battery gets down to 12, it's gonna power down itself. That's how cool the app is. Now we have this side of the table. And obviously, guys, it comes with a lot of stickers, accessories. They hooked me up with a t-shirt, as you can see, a cap, a nice mug, and and inside of my trailer, they hooked me up with a bag, like a type goodie bag type thing. So I could, I guess, carry all of this stuff, but it's pretty cool. So now, on this side of the table, we have the Blackvue Power Magic Ultra battery. It's called the B130X. They used to have a different one prior. All right, guys, so let's talk about this B130X real quick. This actually works, as I said, in tandem with the dash cam. So how it works, it powers the dash cam when the car is off. So while the car is on, the car is charging the B130X. Once you switch the car off, the modes change in here, and this actually has Bluetooth in it as well. The modes change in here, and this powers the dash cam without drawing on your batteries. I have 2 batteries in this thing, but that's how it works. So it actually works in tandem with it, and it's actually pretty cool. So this one, they used to have a version called the B124X. This thing now offers faster charging, and the capacity is about 25% more power. So this one here, it's about 7,500 milliamps, about 96 watt hours, and you can charge this. Now, if you hardwire this to the car, okay, there's 2 forms. So this setup right here, okay, this right here goes into the B130X. You hardwire this to the car to a switched connection, meaning obviously, again, when you turn the ignition on, see it says ACC over here, you put that to a fuse, and guess what? That's why they give you adaffuses. So this tinned positive terminal right here goes into your adafuse, and they give you 3 different types of adaffuses. And one of them over here, this one right here, this is an ATM fuse, and my car actually takes this. So guess what? I could actually do that if I wanted. Now, as I was saying, if this is hardwired into the car, you can have a full charge on this thing within 50 minutes. Now, they also give you a cigarette lighter connection. Notice the connection right here. It's the same as here. This is the DC port that goes in here. It says DC in. Now you plug your cigarette lighter in, plug this in there. So once your car is powered on, this is the easy connection. It's charging the box. Once you shut the car off, let's say you go to the gym or wherever, the grocery store, then it diverts the power to the box charging the dash cam, and that's how it works. So as I was saying, I'll even put something up on the side so at least you can see what I'm saying as for like a visual representation. But this is you could power this on. Obviously you can see the lights are triggered on. And the cool thing about the app, you can actually see the charge on the battery when you connect everything. It's actually pretty cool. So you could actually see the charge on this. And also the cool thing about this is also moonlights as a battery bank. So you could connect a USB port to this and charge your phone if you're out, or if obviously if you have this accessible. All right, guys, so just to recap, as I said before, once this is hooked up, once your car is started or the ignition is on, this gets power while simultaneously running the dash cams. Once your car turns off, power diverts, and this ends up charging or powering the dash cams instead of using your car's battery. Now, just to recap. So from a 50-minute charge on this thing, you can get approximately like around 30 hours. When I powered it on today, I think I had about, like 17 hours left or something like that. Actually, it was like around 71%, you know, I mean, whatever that'll give you. So about 71%, okay? So now I'm gonna hook this stuff up and show you how to, like, the basic hookup and how everything works. And guys, the cool thing about this can work with 12 volt and 24 volt systems. So you could be running these cameras in, you know, regular compact cars, minivans, all the way to heavy duty type vehicles, if you get what I'm saying. So, you know, I mean, it could handle. All right, guys, so this is how everything works. Now, two ways, as I said, we can do this. You can hook this up to your cigarette lighter. This gets plugged in, just like so. So now when your car turns on, cigarette lighter powers the box, and then the dash cam, you can do this. A very, very easy and simple connection. This one here that looks like a socket, that gets plugged in to where it says dash cam on the port. Plug that in. And then the cigarette lighter for the dash cam gets plugged in here, and then you plug the dash cam in like so, just like this. And that's how that works, just like that, okay? The other method is, oh, it's trying to power it on already. No, turn it off, okay? The other method is, let's remove that. All right, so let's leave these two joined up together. The other method is this hardwired method right here, as we said. So you can plug this in, just unplug this. So you can plug this bad boy in. Let me see if I can just get a little bit of cord out. I don't want to unwrap the whole thing. Okay. All right, so you plug this in just like so, okay? And when you plug that in, you have the ACC wire here and the ground. The ground is the ring terminal, okay? So now what you do is you take that ACC wire, obviously you route your wires properly, okay? And how this works, how the adder fuse works is like this. They give you a couple of adder fuses, and they give you mini fuses, ATM fuses, and so forth. Now they're saying in the manual to look for an ACC fuse that's around 10 amps, okay? And so let's say the ACC fuse, let's say you do have a fuse that's 10 amps in there that only gets power when the ignition is turned on. So normally the fuse would be in the slot. You take out the fuse, you put it in the lower slots closest to the blades. So let's say you put that 10 amp there, okay? Press it in, okay? And they give you a 20 amp ATM fuse. That you put to the top. The fuse that goes to the top, that is the one that is responsible for this line of connection. So guess what? This ACC wire right here gets inserted into this blue jacket. You crimp that right there, and then you plug this portion where the fuse was from the car, okay? And once you ground it, you turn the ignition on, you should have power, okay? So that's one way to power the car. And as I said, by doing it that way, it actually charges within 50 minutes, okay? The cigarette lighter portion charges around 90 minutes, okay? So now guys, if we hook it up this way, you can still take this method as I showed you from before. You could hook up this socket where it says dash cam right here and join the dash cam piece to it, and you're straight. You know what I'm saying? You can do it like that, or there's another one right here, okay? Has 3 wires on it, okay? You plug that in, strip these wires, black, red, and yellow. This is the other hard wire part, one for the dash cam right here. See other wires, so you got a black, red, and a yellow. You connect them, and then you plug this to the dash cam, okay? So that's how it works. So you pretty much, I'm trying to illustrate this for you. without unraveling this whole thing. So pretty much this entire clump right here gets joined up to here, just like so. And then this portion here gets plugged into the dash cam. And that's how it works. So it's up to you how you want to do it. But you're not going to be using all of these wires. They're just giving you a lot of options, if you get what I'm saying. Now guys, additionally to the fuses and the added fuses, they give you some Velcro that you can apply over here to stick and hold up this unit somewhere in your car. I need to see this to believe it. I don't know if the Velcro is that strong. They give you a SIM card tool right here that I've actually used. Okay, I showed you where the SIM card was already. Let me also show you, they give you memory cards. This can handle a 56 gig all the way up to 512 gigs of memory. To access your memory card, just peel this just like that, and the memory card is here. They give you 128 gigs, which is a lot. Okay, also guys, additionally, they give you a little pry tool that can help you route your wires. They actually give you your flash drive. You insert your memory card in here, put this in your computer, and you're straight. They also give you extra 3M tape right here, and they give you some small 3M wire management little. They give you a number of those. It's actually pretty nifty. Okay, so I'm not taking out all that stuff right now because it's going to be a mess, but they give you a lot. All right guys, now that we went over the basic hookups, and I would urge you guys, please read your manuals, go over your manuals. All right guys, so now that we went over the ins and outs of connecting this bad boy, let me just run through some quick specs that this bad boy has. So obviously this setup here, it's a 2-channel setup, and you can operate it through LTE, meaning access the cloud, see, you know, like real-time video. Memory card, as I said, it can take a 64, 128, 256, or 512 gig card. Okay, the cameras, now this is the nice part about the cameras. Now they started using the Sony Starvis 2, the CMOS sensor. So the front, you're looking at about 8.4 megapixels, and the rear that has a Starvis CMOS sensor, it has about 2.1 megapixels. So they're, you know, they're pretty nice for what it is. now the front viewing angle, you're looking at about around 146 degrees. Okay, that's diagonal. Horizontal about 125, vertical 68. The rear diagonal, you're looking at 131, horizontal like around 107 degrees, and vertical around 55. So the resolution and the frame rates, the front, you're looking at around 4K, so 3840 times 2160p, that's at 30 frames per second. The rear, you're looking at full HD, so that's like 1080p at 30 frames per second. Obviously guys, I don't have to tell you, the frame rates can vary with, you know, with whatever Wi-Fi that you're running. The video compression mode is MP4. The built-in Wi-Fi, it's 802.11. It can handle A, B, G, and AC Wi-Fi, so it has a nice Wi-Fi chip in there. The GPS is built in, Bluetooth is built in. You have a built-in microphone, built-in speaker. You'll hear it once I turn it on. You have LED indicators. Obviously, for the front camera, you have a recording LED, GPS, and something that says BWL. That's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and LTE. Okay, I'll show you all of that stuff once we plug it in. The sensor is a 3-axis acceleration sensor. They also have a button, like a trigger on the side over here. Right here, like when you touch it, it can do like emergency recording and so forth. It's actually pretty cool. Now, the cool thing about this, and I don't have it personally in my car. I have dash cams with regular batteries. The cool thing about this actually has a super capacitor built in. So this thing can handle some serious temperatures, heat and cold, okay? And also, you can keep it on parking mode, like running all the time. You can't really, it's not that you can't, but you don't want to do that with a regular dash cam, like a battery type dash cam. You don't want to do that if you get what I'm saying. So the supercapacitor can allow you to keep it plugged in parking mode all the time. All right, guys, so now, as far as power consumption goes, if you have this thing in parking mode, depending like in normal mode, parking mode, like say for instance with the GPS on or off, with the cloud on or off, it can pull different types of voltages, okay? Now, operation temperature, you can run it from -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's the reason why supercapacitors are really, really good, because a regular battery, it won't be able to handle those types of temps. And additionally to that, guys, if the temperature, like say in your car or whatever, gets past like 160 degrees, I think specifically like around 167 degrees Fahrenheit, or that's 70 degrees Celsius, it'll power off itself. All right, guys, so I just wanted to show you this very, very simple setup, and I would advise you to do it this way, especially if you don't know much about wiring and fuses and added fuses and you don't want to experiment by yourself. This is what you do. That's why they make it very, very easy for you. So what you do is you take this DC cigarette lighter plug here. This is the DC in for the B130X. Okay, so that you plug into your cigarette lighter. This gets plugged in here, and then you take the cigarette lighter socket. Okay, so this is the female one. You connect it into the DC out. Okay, this is your cigarette lighter plug that came with the dash cam. Plug that in. Join that together, and then you can take this wire right here, plug it into this port, plug it into your rear, and route it however you like. But this is as simple as it gets. So when you start your car, not only does it charge the bank, but also powers the dash cam. And when you shut the car off, it diverts the power from charging the bank charges the camera. It's very, very simple. That's it. Okay, so it's a lot better than running added fuses, wiring, things like that. But just remember, the cool thing is this comes with around 70 to 75% of battery life, which means with the cigarette lighter plug, remember they said it takes around 90 minutes to fully charge this. With the hardwire kit, it takes around 50 minutes. Obviously, it's not going to take that long because this comes with juice already in it. All right. All right, guys, so yesterday I showed you about a basic hookup, just, you know, with the camera and the battery box and so forth, and you just saw me taking my old dash camera off. I still have 2 more to take off in the back, but there's something I wanted to go over with you guys real quick, because I know a lot of you might not have experience with this. I, on the other hand, as you can see in here, I have a lot of wires and stuff and a lot of added fuses, and I just wanted to go over something with you real quick. The difference between a switched and a permanent connection. A switch connection is a connection that has power when the ignition is turned on. And a permanent connection is when you touch your tester to it, these fuses in there in your fuse box, either in the car or under the hood, it's gonna have power when the car is off. So right here, now, so let's say you wanted to wire this in. This is the hardwire for the battery box. And remember, if you hardwire it, there's it's only a 50-minute charge compared to using the cigarette lighter for a 90-minute charge. Okay? So if you choose to hardwire this, obviously that would probably be in your favor. And I showed you exactly how to hook it up to the added fuse and stuff like that. Now, let's go over this real quick. So let's say, now they were calling for a 10 amp fuse, okay? Something that has power only when the ignition is on. So let's touch this one here real quick. Tester doesn't light up. Well, let's touch this one here real quick. This 20 amp fuse. This 20 amp fuse here is for the 12 volt cigarette lighter plug, okay? Tester doesn't light up. Watch as soon as I turn the accessory on the car. Tester lights up. See that? Now, that means you got some action right there, which means these fuses have power. They only have power when the ignition is on. See that right there? So now, here's the one thing I have to say. I have a little bit of a reservation with what they have in the manual as far as this this adafuse circuit right here, because they're saying they want you to find a 10 amp circuit. Okay, they want you to find a 10 amp circuit and then put a 20 amp fuse to control the wiring for that charging box. But here's the problem with that. The reservation I have is usually when you put an adafuse, okay, into this fuse panel right here and you put another fuse on top of it, you definitely want that fuse, and sorry for the noise guys, but you definitely want that fuse to be either the same size or smaller, not to overload the circuit, which means that 10 amp circuit. So let's say we use this 10 amp circuit right here. Let me point it with the with my tester. So let's say we use one of these 10 amp circuits right here. Okay. Oh, notice that my ignition is off and this one lights up here when the car is off. That's a permanent connection. Okay. That is the starter fuse right there. Okay. So just understand that. Okay. This one right next to it, let me see, doesn't have power. Okay. Now let's try that. Let's try this. Yep, it has power when the ignition is on. So let's focus on these two red fuses right here. This one right here has power when the ignition is off. And this one right here has power only when you turn the ignition on. See how it's off right now? Because the ignition is off. So now, food for thought. So the one that it's on right now, that is the cigar lighter or cigarette lighter fuse, okay? So let's say I wanted to use that. I pull that fuse out, okay? I pull that 10 amp fuse out, put it at the bottom, like how you saw I did it here. And then I take the 20 amp, put it to the top, okay? Then I put that wire in between it, crimp it, and we're straight. But as I said, the reservation I have is the fact that this is a 20 amp fuse on top of the 10 amp circuit. I don't like that. So what I would do is I would use this one here. This is a 20 amp switch connection right here. Okay, so it's a big fuse, okay, same as this. And as I said, you want the same size or lower. So the battery box takes a 20 amp fuse and that's a 20 amp circuit right there. So that's the one I would use, preferably use. And it's perfect because guess what? That only has power when the ignition is on. And I'll show you again. Each have one of these metal points on top of the fuse. And there you go. So that's a little bit of in and out of switched and permanent connection. And that's probably the fuse I'm gonna use. That is the 20 amp 12 volt cigarette lighter plug fuse. Okay, so if you had to hardwire this, guys, that is the fuse that I would use. All right. And of course you have to ground it. I actually made a ground right here. I drilled into the chassis of the frame right here and made sure that it's bare metal. And that's why you see I have a bunch of grounds right here, and that's where you would put the ground. And that's really it.
Blackvue for your safe driving. Starting normal recording.
Alright guys, so I just finished up the install. I actually have like a huge carpet on top of my car right now because I'm outside, but it's so bright out that it's causing a lot of glare. So I hope that, you know, the video is at least a little bit pleasable to your eyesight. But anyway, so what's happening here is I just wanted to show you something about this box first. It's not really an anomaly, but it's something that you should know. So obviously what I did was I just turn this camera this way. So behind my gauges here, I have a 12 volt cigarette lighter port. Okay, so what I did was I pulled out the gauges, pulled out the mat, and I took apart the center console as you saw on the time lapse, and I took a step bit, drilled a hole big enough that this piece here can go through. And what I did was I routed the wire over to this side behind the glove box. Okay, and everything is pretty damn neat. So that is going to provide power once I have the ignition on. Now, that being said, if this box, if the switch is in the off position, even though you have the ignition on or you're driving your car or whatever the case might be, it's not going to take a charge and it's not going to power the dash cam at the same time. So this box has to be on. Okay, box has to be on, and I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to put the ignition on, and you're not going to see a light at all on the box. Watch. So I got power, and there is no light whatsoever. Now, if I turn the box on, watch what's going to happen. You're going to see that battery light start blinking. There you go. So it's blinking, indicating that it's getting a charge. And then it stops blinking, and then it diverts power to the dash cam. Okay, so now obviously the dash cam didn't power on because I just wanted to tell you about it. So what I did was use this female cigarette lighter port right here, plug it into where it says dash cam. Then I used the cigarette lighter connection for the dash cam. Use that. Plug that in. Let me put it back neatly how I had it. I hate how it doesn't look freaking neat how I had it. But that's it. It's perfectly nice inside that glove box right there, man. Like it's perfect. Everything is good. So now all I got to do is turn it on. Now I don't drive this car that much. So what's obviously going to happen is, since my car is most of the time is in the garage, I'm going to have the box powered off because it doesn't make sense to me having the box on and powering the dash cams, if you understand what I'm saying. So when I'm about to drive the car, just open the glove box, turn it on, start the car, leave, and just leave the box on when the car's powered off at the gym or wherever I go. And it's usually at the gym. Okay, so that's something that I wanted to show you guys. And added to that, like a glove, baby. Love it. All right, guys, so time to do a quick screen recording and run over some settings with you guys. So obviously, guys, you download the Blackvue app on your phone. Looks pretty much just like that. Now once downloaded, open that bad boy up. Okay, and once you open it up, and obviously, guys, as I showed you guys at the beginning, make sure you put your memory card in, because it's going to want to format the memory card. Okay, and when the memory card, it actually has some firmware built into it, and they give you a nice 128 gig card. So that firmware, it's going to try to get downloaded onto the card. Make sure that your firmware is up to date. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to power this bad boy on. I'm going to use the box. Hear that little chime, and you're going to see the lights light up on the dash cam. takes a little bit, but it lights up and it starts talking. So you have the record button, that's orange, GPS is blue, and the BWL is white. Bluetooth.
Blackvue for your safe driving. Starting normal recording.
So the BWL is Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and LTE. Okay? And obviously the camera is starting to record. Now, so now, once you...
Cloud connected.
Okay? So now, guys, once you start, once you connect to the camera, okay, it'll ask you to go into your Bluetooth settings, connect to the camera, connect to the Wi-Fi, things like that. Just go through the motions. It's actually, it actually walks you through everything, so you don't have to worry. I also have the added SIM card for LTE viewing, if you get what I'm saying. And obviously, once you pair up to the camera, you can go into it. There's a lot of settings. There's obviously live view, okay? It shows where you are. I'm gonna just obviously blur that out. So I'm connected to the cloud and Wi-Fi. So you can switch over to Wi-Fi right there. It's gonna connect to the camera. Let's see, I hate this damn glare, but I just wanna show you guys. Okay, so hopefully it's not too bright, but so now you can go on the Wi-Fi, it's connected. So the Wi-Fi is where, obviously guys, to connect to Wi-Fi, under your Wi-Fi, you're gonna have to go in there and find the camera. So obviously when you go into Wi-Fi, you'll see Blackvue 970X Lte, blah, blah, blah. So obviously you gotta hit connect and connect to it and so forth and so forth. The app walks you through everything, so please don't worry about it. And now you can go into live view. So you got the front right there. And then we got the rear. Okay, guys, it's really bright, and there's a lot of glare, and my trailer is right next to it. So, and my trailer is gray, so it's reflecting a lot of glare onto the car. Okay, so just bear with me for a sec. Now, guys, how I connected this camera, okay? What you want to do is the lens of the camera, make sure the lens is directly even with like the middle of the car. So the camera, the sticky part of it is obviously going to be off center. So just be aware of that, okay? But as you can see on the screen recording, it's, you know, I mean, my stuff is dead even, okay? And so you can have either live view, playback. Now, I have obviously the SIM card, so I can actually not connect to Wi-Fi, and I could see my camera from pretty much anywhere because of my SIM. As I explained to you guys, I had a free SIM card, so I actually have a line that's free with T-Mobile, okay? So it's actually pretty cool. So I can just go in there and mess around with it. Now, guys, I told you guys about formatting the card. You can go into settings. There's a lot of settings. Give me 1 second. There's a lot of settings that you can manipulate. Like I even showed you guys, like say for instance, if you hardwire this car with the OBD hardwire kit, you can go in there and lower, like set the voltage. So when the car battery drops to a certain percentage, guess what? Bam, the camera shuts off. Now this is a really cool feature right here. Since I got this, the B130X, this box, I can go into the box right here. It says battery, and it'll detect the battery via Bluetooth. And it should say select battery to pair with. There it is. And it's connected. And now it's showing me that I have about 9 hours and 44 minutes of time remaining. It shows the current capacity. and the output voltage 13.2 volts. Okay, now right here you see 32 degrees Celsius. Just click that and it should pop to Fahrenheit, which is like around 91, 89 degrees or whatever the case might be. So it does get a little warm. Actually, it doesn't feel warm at all. It actually feels cold. So, you know what I mean? I don't know where it's getting that from, but it's very, very strange. But as I said, doesn't feel warm at all. So let's back out of that real quick. So now we have our battery percentage, and you can see it right there at 66%. Okay, so now obviously, guys, you have your profile. You can go on there, obviously sign in, do all of this stuff, and you have like your free plan and stuff like that. They can give you they give you options to upgrade, like free, light, smart, and each of them has their own options. Okay, and the live view is I think you could do live view like 10 minutes a day, playback or download 2 out of 100, and cloud storage, they give you like 5 gigs of cloud storage. Okay, and guys, you could obviously download videos, things like that. So when your car goes into parking mode or whatever the case might be, you can go in there, download videos, and there's actually active profiles where you can chat with customer service, email them, call them, and they actually show you the hours of their availability. Okay, so let me see. Nope, don't want to go there. You got cloud, got camera. Yeah, so these are the recordings and stuff like that. Obviously the car's just been sitting here. I've been sitting here for hours, obviously, like trying to route everything super neat. Oh, yep, that's me right there. So it's actually pretty cool, but the video is damn clear. Okay, and then you could obviously hit the options right here: download, upload, share to an event map. So let's download it quick. And you can hit like a quick play file for low resolution or original file. And you have the option for front, rear, either both, or, you know, one at a time. Hit download. Let's see how quick it does that. Let's see this one here real quick. Quick play, original file.
It downloaded a file.
So let's see this one here. Oh yeah, there it is. Now that's fast. So there it is. So what you want to do is, so I was in cloud the entire time. So I actually switched over from cloud to Wi-Fi, and that's when, yes, there you go. And then I went to playback, and then it had all my videos in there. And once you go in there, let's see, front, rear. So I can go back into rear. And you either have the low resolution or original file. Look how fast this is. But that's when I was, that is when I was installing the camera and stuff like that. So now look what I could do. I could literally just go in here, hit download, and that's fast. That's really fast. The downloads is crazy fast. So yeah, so now downloaded videos. I have 2 downloaded videos here. I wonder if it goes into my, let's see if it goes into an album. Oh yeah, it does. And it goes real time directly into an album. Look at that. Look at that freaking resolution. That's super clean. Super clean. Dang. That's really nice. So guys, you know what to do. Definitely like, subscribe, comment. As I told you before, these cameras are freaking top notch. I wish they had a 3-channel, because I wanted the obviously outside view, front and rear, and a 1 inside view. But unfortunately, there is nothing for now. Okay, so definitely, Jeremy, thank you so much once again for sending me this. Guys, all the links and stuff are going to be in the description. Check it out on TikTok. And this battery alone, he sent me this battery. This thing is freaking fantastic, guys, because today when I was showing you guys about the fuses, I was actually taking out my hardwire kit from my old dash cam, okay? And let me tell you, that, you know, I mean, it constantly pulls juice. So what I would have to do is, because I didn't drive the car often, I literally would go and I would just unplug it from over here. Oh, and speaking of here, guys, just to let you know, right here to the side of this camera, there is, you'll see a hand touching here. It's like for emergency recording.
Manual recording on.
See that? So it's for like an emergency recording. So just be aware of that. The camera talks and says every single thing. Okay? So guys, if you're doing this just with a simple camera setup without the LTE and everything like that, guys, it's super, super easy. I would highly recommend getting this box. This box would save you a lot of freaking heartache. Yes, you know, I mean, it costs a little bit up front, but I'm telling you right now, when you're at a show and you walk away, or you're at a grocery store, or you're at the gym, or whatever the case might be, you can rest assured that your box is powering your cameras, okay? That box is powering your cameras, and you don't have to worry about it, okay? Worry about your battery being drained, okay? So just be aware of that. Also, a couple more things before I go. You have event triggers right here. You can go in there, change all of this stuff. You can obviously turn on your speed alerts, things like that. And you could actually, like, say, for instance, you know, I could put it at, you know, 100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? And you could put it like beep alert. Back out of there. So I changed the miles per hour, hard acceleration, hard braking, hard cornering. It'll do event recording for all of those things. Okay? And it'll even say protect event files. So you can actually highlight that. You know what I mean? So it doesn't get lost or accidentally erased or whatever the case might be. Now, if you go into, I think it's system. If you go into system, has obviously volume for the voice guidance, things like that. Okay? And this is not what I wanted to show you. If you go into, I think, let me see. Yes, go into video. Obviously, these are the byte rates right here, like video quality. So you have normal, high, highest, and extreme. I have mine on extreme, okay? And they're 1 minute segments, okay? And it shows you resolution, obviously it's 4K, Ultra HD at 30 frames per second. And the rear, you have full HD at 30 frames per second. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. Camera rotation. So in the back, depending on which side you wire your car, if you wire going from the driver's side towards the back or the passenger side towards the back, you might have to flip the camera or whatever the case might be. So what you can do right here, you scroll down, you have rear camera orientation. You can leave it as default, or you can rotate the video 180 degrees so it looks normal. You get what I'm saying? So they pretty much thought of everything in here. It's actually pretty freaking nifty. Okay? Video overlay, date and time. Yeah, this is pretty cool. And it actually show here user text overlay. So it'll say you can put whatever you want in there. You know, like date, time, display, things like that. So just be aware that, as I said, go in, play around with it. It's actually really, really cool. And don't forget, hit save.
Settings have been changed.
Yep. And the camera lets you know the settings have been changed. All right, guys. So, guys, definitely like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. As I told you before, this is a really nifty camera, especially like me. Now, I can view this anywhere. I can literally be in the gym working out, and I can literally go onto just regular service and look at the front view or rear view of my car without being next to it, or, you know, with connected to the camera's Wi-Fi. All right. So, guys, again, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Check out all the links, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.